What's going on, YouTube? It's James from ChiHammer Fantasy Battle Reports. I got another battle report for you today. It's Buckeyes 2018, round number 2. Guys, it is round number 2 of Buckeyes. I am continuing my undefeated streak. Yes, I got 2 draws in the last 3 years of Buckeyes, but that doesn't count as being defeated. That counts as draws. Anyways, guys, so we're going into game 2, and I'm playing Alex Harrison. Alex Harrison is the guy who runs the Infernal Zoo in the West Coast, you guys should check out that tournament if you ever get a chance to. He runs the Infernal Zoo. He's playing an Infernal Dwarf army. Now it makes total sense why he's using the word Infernal. But we're going over what he has. Let's go over what I have. Now, guys, we're playing the Diagonal. I'll go over the scenario in a second, but we're playing Diagonal. And he has an Infernal Dwarf army. Let's see what he has here. He has a Kadim Incarnate and a holy shit, a Kadim Titan, excuse me, a Kadim Titan, and he has, it's a cool model. I've never seen that model ever before. I actually think it's a pretty impressive model for a Kadim Titan. I can tell what it is right off the bat. I mean, I don't know if it comes like that or if he green stuff to fire, but that shit's badass coming out of his nostrils, and it looks like a bull. It's a pretty cool model. On the right, he has the giant choo-choo train. The choo-choo train is a, what is it called? An infernal engine, and that thing is just nasty. It has impact hits, grinding attacks. It has freaking this gun that shoots like D3 wounds or some shit on there. And then he has a unit of hobgoblins behind him. Another unit of, I want to say those are, let's see, I have it right here. I have the list right here. Infernal Warriors. He has 16 Infernal Warriors. They have blunderbusses, so I'm just going to call them the blunderbusses from now on. He also has a unit of Citadel Guard, like 10 of them. And then in the background here in this picture, you can see he has a unit of, it's a big unit of Toruk Anointed, which are the Bull Centaurs. They have the Banner of Shamut, and then his BSB's in there, and he has the Kadim Bindings, and he also has Lugar's Dice, which is just, it's a nasty combo with that unit. Just a lot of firepower, or a lot of strength in that unit. As you can see on the left, top left, he has a unit of 3 Incarnates, and then he has another unit of 20-something Hobgoblins with bows. His general is just a Alchemist. I want to say he's just the Alchemist, and then a Prophet with Alchemy. And then he has a rocket battery, and he also has a Hobgoblin Wolf Rider somewhere around. Now, excuse me, my side, as you can see, he deployed, I want to say I deployed everything first to try to take first turn. He goes ahead and he counters with what he wants to hit where. I want to say that's how it went. He might have took first turn. We'll find out in a second. No, I took first turn. Yeah, so I dropped everything. We're playing Diagonal. We're playing Breakthrough. Now, my unit of Spider Riders scouted up in the forest up there. My whole goal was to try to get behind his lines, start doing Hand of Heavens onto his War Machines and Comets down to his main bunker. And the main thing is I'm just trying to keep him away from the bow shots because there's a lot of bow fire on the left side. Knowing what I know now, I might have just put him on the other side to deal with the threat on the left side. But again, I haven't really had much practice with my list as of late because I just been out of the hobby in general, so these kind of like warming me back up to understanding my army and try to play with it better. I got my chariots in a good spot where basically they're going to impact hit anything they want to hit in the like turn 2 more or less, depending on how much damage he puts out on them. And then basically, as you can see, well, I have my K-Pack, my Idol Agork, I have a Spider, but the Spider's all the way on the right side, Savages on the hill, Goblin Bows with the middle, Generals in the middle, and then my Goblins, Force Goblins on the left. Turn 1, Orcs and Goblins. Turn 1, Orcs and Goblins. I move my Wolf Riders right up into the way of his Kadim Titan and his Anointed. This allows me to get just close enough where I could get everything in about 12-inch range to charge in the next turn. So I go ahead and I move the K-Pack up, I move Crom up, I move the Savages up. I don't care if he charges the Wolf Riders, as long as they're within 18 inches of my General, which they are. They're not going to flee from terror, so they'll be pretty good. I mean, he's a leadership 10. I go ahead and I move the Space Rock to the flank of everything. More or less, I'm in the woods. I'm going to be able to. I don't think I used the web launch in this really, but I'm going to be able to get a flank charge if he gets out with his Kadim Titan at all. And then I go ahead and I move my Spiders up really close to try to start taking care of his rocket battery, because that rocket scares the shit out of me. Yeah, and that's how it looks. I ended up having to move my Forest Goblins to the to the middle more, so I just sidestepped because I'm getting too far from my general, which is a bad sign in the beginning. And as you can see, this is a very blurry picture of how it looks on this side. Magic, I ended up getting a 2, which is the worst magic face possible. But I go ahead and I do a Hand to Heaven. He gets it. He lets it go through because I think he was trying to stop Comet. And I go ahead and I end up doing 2 wounds onto the rocket battery. Shooting phase, I don't have a picture of it, but what I ended up doing was I ended up shooting that Hobgoblin Wolf Rider because he's just within 24 inches. And I end up putting 1 wound onto him, which allows him to live. But at the same time, he ends up just hiding him afterwards because he realized I could just shoot him. And he also realizes that my spider unit is a threat on the flank. So that's about it. Nothing else really happened in shooting. I think I shot the Kadim Titan with the bows, but they didn't do shit. And nothing else really happens. Going to start off his turn. Turn 1, Infernal Dwarves. Turn 1, Infernal Dwarves. He doesn't charge me, which was a shocking thing. He passes his Frenzy check. So what he ends up doing was he moves the Titan over to the flank because he doesn't want to fight the spider on a flank charge. He doesn't really charge my dogs. Now I'm thinking like I could just charge the dogs out into something like the tank or something like that. But what he's really doing is he's threatening my Spider Rider unit. He does not like how close my Spider Rider unit got. He doesn't want me sneaking behind him. So basically he just blocks me totally out of the picture. Now, if my Wolf Riders could live, I could really just chaff up another unit, or I could just charge out, or I could get a nice combo charge with Crom and the K-Pack, and then Crom doesn't have to fight all of them, but we'll see how this goes. Magic, he ends up getting a 6 on the dice, and he ends up going ahead, and he does... I don't know what he does. I don't have pictures of anything really. I have a picture of the spider unit, so... Oh, no, I don't... No, he didn't really do much. I think he might have done like some magic missile onto these guys, but for the most part, a lot of the stuff was out of range. So I don't think it really mattered. We're going to go to shooting. Shooting, he ends up shooting all the Hobgoblins into the Wolf Riders. He ends up doing 3 wounds. I'm like, okay, they stuck. They're past their panic. Well, he has more Hobgoblins. They shoot, and they end up killing off my fucking dogs. God damn it! In the fields and everything. Jesus Christ. The rocket battery goes ahead and shoots, since Crom ends up doing 1 wound, actually. I believe what this picture up here was a picture of the tank. The tank actually shot at the big spider. He counts it. He does the wounds. He does like 8 wounds. Kills me on the first shot. And then we realize he did the numbers wrong because I was in the forest. I should have cover. And he ends up not killing me at all. I think he might have just did 1 wound, and it's going to start off my turn. Orcs and Goblins turn 2. Orcs and Goblins turn 2. I'm going to call it the Wog! I'm going to charge! I'm charging Crom into the fucking Anointed, and I'm charging the K-Pack into the flank of the Anointed, which is awesome. And boom! They get in. Now, he did put up his freaking alchemy spell. Not his alchemy spell, his attribute spell onto Crom, which gives him 1 rerolls, or makes me flammable. I asked him, too, before I charged in, I said, does that unit have flaming attacks? He says, no. But apparently the fucking banner gives the fucking BSB the flaming attacks, or his whatever shackles give him flaming attacks. Did not know that, but it didn't really matter. I probably would have done this charge anyways. Got in, boom, boom. All right. Now I go ahead and I move my general, and it gives my BSB unit a march chest. They freaking pass it. They end up going into the woods. I think I end up just swapping the spot where they were in the woods, while the Space Rock goes ahead and moves up this way. And I just moved the Savages up closer because Savages need to get into the next combat. Yeah, that's how that looks right here. Magic, I end up getting a very blurry number, which will be a 7. So I got a 7 on the Magic Flux. Go ahead and I give the Idol a breath weapon. That goes off. Now, over here, shooting. I'm going to go ahead and shoot into the freaking Kadim Titan. I end up doing a wound. Now, I really am hoping that he does charge my spider with the Kadim Titan. I'm doing this on purpose, so basically, he can't really help the big combat. But, I also want, like, if he fights the spider and the spider lives, I'll be able to get a flank charge with my general in the next turn and potentially just kill the Titan. We'll see how that goes. But more or less, I just don't want the Titan and the train going wherever the hell they want. They basically are stuffed by the giant spider, who has 8 wounds. Now, the big combat in the middle, what ends up happening is I end up doing impact hits, doing 7 wounds with impact hits alone. Crom, I contemplated doing a crush attack onto his BSB, which probably would have been the smartest play, to be honest, but I ended up just doing a couple attacks into the unit because I was afraid I was going to lose combat res. He ends up going ahead and swinging on my chariots, and he freaking wrecks my chariots. I mean, he freaking wrecks me, and he ends up doing like 3 wounds onto Crom, which basically he ends up winning combat because he has a banner, a BSB, and like so many wounds, and even though I did 7 wounds, that's all I did. So he ends up winning combat. I think my chariots run, but Crom sticks, and it's going to go ahead and start off turn 2 Infernal Dwarves. Turn 2 Infernal Dwarves, as you can see, my chariots they totally ran off. I did a good chunk of damage, though. Nothing really happens. He charges into my spider like expected. Magic, he ends up getting a 4 on the power flux. Goes ahead and makes Crom flammable again. I really can't stop it with the amount of alchemy spells he has. But as you can see in this picture here, he just destroys my spider with the damn Kadim Titan. God damn, that was just brutal. Brutal, I say. And he's going to go ahead and face this way. And then he goes ahead and he swings away at my Crom, and he ends up killing Crom just outright with flaming attacks and rerolling to wound. Alright, it's going to start off my turn. Orcs and Goblins turn 3. So I charge my general in, boom, like so, and then I go ahead and I do magic. I got 5 on the power flux, which is the best phase. I go ahead and I give my general cleansing fire because why not? Shooting phase over here, I'm going to go ahead and shoot all these shots into his anointed. I end up doing 1 wound. He fails the armor check, and he gets up, he takes 2 wounds here. Close combat up here with the big dragon, the big fucking dragon. I go ahead and I swing away. He swings away. He does a bunch of wounds. I armor save him before I even have to ward save him. Before I have to worry about his divine attacks either. So I go ahead and I swing with the lance, and I go ahead and I just pop off like freaking 4 wounds. And he's like, holy shit. And I go, yeah. I'm like, strength 8. I love hitting with Dread because I'm like, strength 8 on the charge. And he's just like, what? Strength 8 on the charge. Just popped him. Now, I told him I have a lance and a great weapon and paired weapon. So at this moment, it is his turn. So start off turn 3, Infernal Dwarves, and he's contemplating charging in with the frickin' tank, but he realizes if I'm strength 8, I'm probably going to put a giant dent into him, potentially kill him, and he's going to have a harder time. So he basically doesn't charge in there. He decides to move his anointed up, or he charges the incarnates here, which was fine. My general's way out of range now, though, so if these guys lose combat, they're going to lose bad. And he doesn't charge anybody into my general. He goes ahead and does this move where he moves the anointed really close to the savages, really close to the K-Pack. But he keeps on going up and back, up and back, up and back, which bites him in the ass in a minute. He goes ahead and he's starting to move his units across tables because he knows it's hold the center. Magic, I don't even know which number was his. But in the previous round, I totally forgot this. Previous round, I got a comet off. The comet comes down. Boom! Blows the shit out of his Citadel Guard unit. His Citadel Guard unit is totally annihilated. There's only 2 guys left. It causes... No, actually, I don't think it causes a panic. But it does, like, a wound to the damn freaking ballista, rocket battery. Does a couple wounds onto his hobgoblins, but did nothing, absolutely nothing to the freaking Wolf Rider. What's this picture? I don't even know what that picture is. Anyways, I think it was magic. His magic just flubbed. I don't know why I'm yawning so much. And it's gonna go and start off the combat over here. The combat over here is Incarnate's just destroyed. They killed like 10 of my guys. I failed my freaking steadfast check because my general's on the wrong side of the table. He overruns and kills my Goblin unit. That's totally my fault. I only did 1 wound back, by the way, because he made a bunch of ward saves. And it's gonna start off my turn. Orcs and Goblins turn 4, I think this is. So I totally could see the ass of one of those anointed. I call the charge with the savages because I really need to make up some ground here. They're gonna get in. I charge in with the K-Pack too, just to help out. I want to say that's what I did. I was contemplating even if I failed that, I could just move the K-Pack as chaff to protect the other units I have going on back there. Anyways, magic, I get a 1 on the flux. And as you can see, I move my Spider Riders to the flank of these guys, Incarnates, and I'm just going to hell. And I'm just unleashing Lightning Vambraces, unleashing freaking Hand of Heavens, unleashing the Breath Weapon. And I end up just killing pretty much all of them except for like 2 wounds left on that Incarnate. Over here, close combat, I do the impact hits and I just kill one of the guys, and then I go ahead and I start swinging away and I just like eviscerated the unit. He ends up killing my K-Pack though, but killing the BSB was just awesome. Over here, as you can see, that's how the table looks. Let's go start off his turn. Infernal Dwarves turn 4. Infernal Dwarves turn 4. He goes ahead and just turns the tank this way to shoot at my general. He ends up shooting my general, getting 3 wounds off on... Oh my god. Now, I believe on my turn, I charged my general into his general, and his general fled. And he fled through the building. When he fled through the building, he ends up losing the rest of his Citadel Guard. He only has 1 Citadel Guard left, and his general left in that unit. And the general even took a wound on fleeing through the building. So he doesn't have a leadership bubble, and if I can start causing panics, that's great. But because he fled, my general had nowhere else to charge into. I think I tried to charge the rocket battery, but it was just too far. So he shot me up, and he got 3 wounds off of my general. My general only has 1 wound remaining. As you can see, this is how the table looks on this side. He's chaffing up my savages who overran after the freaking anointed. And he's moving his blunderbusses up really close to my goblins over there. After shooting here, he ends up shooting my Spider Rider unit, and he ends up killing off like 6 of them. And it's going to start off my turn, Orcs and Goblins turn 5, I think this is. Magic, I end up getting 6 dice. I end up throwing up a comet right in front of his general. And this might be the aftermath, to be honest. I think I did this on the last turn too. But it goes off and ends up killing his general right where he rallies. So he doesn't. I kill his general. I kill his Citadel Guard. I'm doing decent. I'm not doing horrible. And then basically I try to move my general out of range of most stuff, but it doesn't really matter. My savages charge the Wolf Rider, but kill him. And my Spider Rider unit's just gonna run around for a while. That's how it looks. Turn 5, Infernal Dwarves. So he goes ahead and he starts shooting my Spider Rider unit. He ends up killing off specifically my BSB, because I don't have enough guys to cover Lookout Sir for me. So he kills my BSB, causes a panic, and my wizard starts running, and the other guy dies. And causes a panic on my goblins up there, or I think I just move my goblins out of the way over there, because I really can't do enough. My savages charge into his hobgoblins. They're going to kill there, and I kill them, but basically that's game. That's all she wrote. I have my savages alive, a unit of goblins alive, and on his shooting phase, he ended up shooting my general with his tank and kills my tank. Okay. So, sorry this match was everywhere. Pitchers weren't really in the order I needed them to be in. My savages were just on a rampage, and my savages, I believe, are taking the MVP slot. Let me see what I got going on for MVP. Yeah, the Savages took 1,800 points. The next up would actually be Bazooka and the Bastards. The Bastards took 1,422 points, which is actually really fucking impressive for a Wizard bunker. They killed the Incarnates. They put a couple wounds onto the Titan. They end up hurting the Rocket Battery and the Wolf Rider, but they didn't finish the job there. They did not finish the job there. Yeah, so the Foot Clan get a very solid MVP award. And then besides that, I think more or less this game ends up being my first Buckeyes lost. And it was just a tough. I mean, Alex played a great game. It was a tough game, a tough opponent. But basically, you know, there was flops on both sides. I can't say that it was just my side, but there was flops on both sides. But not being able, or losing Crom, I mean, he got like 4 6s on Crom in one round of attacks, and that was only like 5 attacks or something like that too, so that was just straight up luck. Yeah, I mean, just my opponent played really smart. He moved his blunderbuss to the other side, so he got the objective. I couldn't get the objective. If I did get the objective, I think it's a 10-10, if not an 11-9. I'm just saying if I tied the objective, not if I won it. But I ended up killing off a bunch of units. I was hoping to cause a panic, but he very smartly put his guys just a little bit farther away, so I couldn't cause a panic. Anyways, that's all she wrote, guys. Until next time, that's all I got. It said the MVP. If you guys can, hit like, share, subscribe, and if not, hit up my Patreon, and that would be much, much appreciated. Until next time, guys. See ya. Peace.